had a wild Sunday in the NFL, Michael. 5 walk-off field goals. That was the first in NFL
Shout out to the
history.
kickers. Shout out
I
to the
would like
kickers.
I would like to start chronologically. I'd like to go chronologically, if you wouldn't mind. Start at the beginning and what may be the end of an era. We've talked about this at different checkpoints throughout the season. Let's start with Sunday morning and that awful display of American football in Germany, much to the chagrin of Robert Kraft, who spoke about wanting to put on a show for the international fans, looking at the big picture, really wanting to show them a nice example of quality American football. And his team failed. So 2-8, and Michael, I don't think at this point. I mean, you tell me, man. You know, you're obviously closer to it than I am, literally and figuratively closer to it than I am. It can't all just be smoke at this point. It feels like a matter of when, not if, and it feels like a matter of how. So I guess I'll ask you when and how.
When at the end of the 2023 season. How? Probably a trade. It's not going to happen during the season. I'd be very surprised if he's fired, after losing to the Giants, or they fall to, 3-13, and then right before Game 17, he doesn't coach the last game. Go ahead.
So let me interject 2 questions to you. One.
First of all, hold on. Let me just pat ourselves on the back. Like, you can't try this at home, y'all. Look, like, I just noticed, dude, I can look at his eyes and know he wants something to say. Like, come on, like,
yeah,
come on,
yeah.
It's like no look, like, oh, there he is.
Yeah,
ooh, there
Jamar
he is right
Chase
there.
down there somewhere. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, down there. Okay, yeah.
2 things before you get to the end of the season. One, have you seen anything from this team that would give you any kind of optimism that it could get better? And if it does get better, if it were to get better, okay, so that's the first part. But let's say, hypothetically speaking, it were to get better, is there anything he could do to stave off what feels to be his inevitable departure, whether it's firing or mutual parting of the ways, whatever it is? Anything you can do to change what we think is coming?
I don't think he'll be fired. I think it's going to be a mutual parting of the ways because, Robert Kraft talked about putting on a show in Germany because he's an owner. He's a businessman. So he really was talking about the game, the big picture. He looks he looks at things through a big picture lens. And as the owner who has Bill Belichick as an asset, he still is an asset. Maybe a lot of people in New England don't think so. Maybe some people in the NFL say, hey, that relationship has run its course. But, hey, let me holler. If it's over, let me holler.
It would be very Belichickian, very shrewd, so very practical, and very full circle, because that's how he got to New England in the first place.
Yep, I think he's going somewhere else.
Trade.
I think he's going to be traded. I think he's going to be traded somewhere else, probably a place he really wants to go, and a team that really wants him, because let's say all it takes is 2. You got a market, and you go back and forth between those 2 teams. Bill Belichick really wants to go to one of them. Let's say it's Washington. I don't know. The Bears, and you make a trade with that franchise. But here's the other thing. There's nothing saving this right now. Because the Bill Belichick story is instructive. It's Shakespearean. It really is Shakespearean in a lot of ways. If you don't want to go Shakespeare, go to your favorite group. Go New Edition. If you don't want to go, Stratford upon Avon, go to Roxbury. Really, it's somebody has reached a level of power where, you can't talk to them anymore, or they don't do things that they used to do. They start to cut corners. They don't put the time in like they used to. Like all these elements: betrayal, jealousy, lack of trust. Being paranoid, all those things happen when your favorite group breaks up. And I think that's really what happened to Bill Belichick. And I'll start with his coaching staff. Very simply, his coaching staff is a joke. Like, Bill Belichick His coaching staff's a joke. The front office is a joke because it's all friends of Bill. They're all Nepo babies, most of them. And you know who the best Nepo babies are? The most talented ones are his own kids. Like, they can actually coach. Steve Belichick and Bill Belichick, they can, and Brian Belichick, they can actually coach. But he's got like Matt Groh in the front office. The guy coaching cornerbacks played lacrosse at Johns Hopkins, where Bill's friend is the lacrosse coach. He's doing a favor here, favor there. There's always a Groh nearby, a Lombardi nearby, somebody who's got a connection to Bill. And I think that's where he's losing credibility, because those guys in the locker room are saying, they don't know what they're talking about. These coaches don't know what they're talking about. They can't help me. They're not ready to coach. And Mike, I'll just say this before I go off on a long tangent. I'm going to end it here. I remember Bill Belichick saying to me years ago, just the two of us talking, he said, you know what? These coaches need to learn how to coach better. I got to coach the coaches so they can understand how to coach better. And think about who he had on staff when he said that. He said that to me when he had good coaches on his staff. He had Brian Daboll as an assistant. He had Josh McDaniels as an assistant, good assistant. He had Eric Mangini as an assistant. He's talking about them getting to a level where they could help him more, and they did. But now these coaches, I think that's a big part of the problem. And this Belichick he just doesn't put as much into it like he used to, Mike. It's maybe it's inevitable, but even if it's inevitable, it's kind of sad to see.
Who are the best coaches in the league right now? Who are the best coaches in the league? Just off the top of your head.
I'm going to give you the answer you want. DeMeco Ryans.
Well, that's one. Okay,
right.
But that's I wouldn't say he's one of the best coaches in the league. He's doing one of the better
Nick
jobs.
Sirianni.
But that's my point. Okay, give me a couple more. Let's throw a couple more out.
All right, DeMeco Ryans, Nick Sirianni, Black America's coach Mike McCarthy.
Seriously though, I was thinking Sean McVay. I was thinking Kyle Shanahan. I was thinking Dan Campbell. Obviously
Dan Campbell.
Andy Reid is still in that conversation.
Of course, Andy Reid. Andy Reid probably won. Andy Reid probably in the number one spot.
And I'm sure we're missing quite a few. Mike Tomlin, John Harbaugh. I'm sure we're missing quite a few people. Some tenured, some new kids on the block.
I'd rather say whoa. I'd rather say whoa than sick 'em.
There you go.
Go ahead.
everything you just laid out. If I'm another owner, let's go into franchise mode. And I don't usually do owner mode. I only did franchise mode because I didn't feel like changing the ticket prices and the concessions. EA never quite get that part right. But let's go owner mode here, Mike. Let's go one level up from what we normally do. If I'm an owner of another NFL team, I want no parts of Bill Belichick. I am not interested.
Really?
No, thank you.
Wow.
No,
What?
not at all.
What?
For all the reasons you just laid out. So you don't think he bringing that same bullshit to me? It's like when somebody is like if you see a relationship from afar, you see a relationship, and that relationship is dysfunctional. It's two of your friends. Hell, maybe even you hooked them up, and you know both of them, and they both whispering to you because they're confiding in you what's going on. But don't worry, this is not happening in your life. Only's not calling me. But I'm saying they're both confiding in you.
Well, I hope not.
just want to make sure you know.
Listen, I didn't think so until you said no.
I just want to be clear.
Now I'm like, well, wait a minute.
Just want to be clear.
No, wait a minute.
I remember walking into your apartment, and I don't remember what she was doing. I'm like, who the hell is that? And why is she in your place? Boy, you Ray Guyed your coverage. You ain't just outkick your coverage. You Ray Guyed your coverage. Anyway.
That's fair. Fair point.
What was I saying?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So,
but you know, if you have some friends,
right, and you're hearing it from both sides, you're like, yo, okay, they're both confiding in you as a friend. You're kind of caught in the middle, but you know that the relationship is dysfunctional for a number of reasons, and then they break up, and then you gonna go get with her. Now, first of all, it'd be foul to go get with her because that's your friend's ex. But just hypothetically speaking, if you get with her, you know what you're getting. You know you're getting that same stuff, that same baggage, those same problems that your boy just finished dealing with, right? So if you're Josh Harris or anybody else, okay, at 70-something years old, he ain't changing. He's bringing the same culture, the same nepotism and cronyism, and the same circle of trust into your place. I don't want that. And I especially don't want the guy, while he may have been responsible for building a dynasty in partnership with Robert Kraft and Tom Brady, he may have been responsible for building a dynasty. He's also wholly responsible for what it's become. He's also run this organization from a personnel standpoint and from a coaching standpoint into the ground. Why would you want that? We've talked ad nauseum about how time after time his assistants and his lieutenants do not find the same success, and that is putting it kindly, do not find the same success elsewhere for a myriad of reasons, for any number of reasons, right? Why would you want to go get Bill Belichick? Maybe you win the press conference, and you don't win the press conference because he gives good press conference. You'll win the press conference for those people out there, those thought leaders out there who think that he's got something left to offer as the greatest coach of all time. But what have you done for me lately? And I have not seen the greatest coach of all time in a long time. And so if I'm another organization, the reason I ask you about who are the best coaches in the league, find me the next Dan Campbell. Find me the next DeMeco Ryans. Find me the next Nick Sirianni. Find me the next Sean McVay. Okay? Find me the next Mike Tomlin. The Patriot way, the Belichick way, the Brady way, whatever you want to call it, Michael, that day's dead. We don't roll like that no more. And I just don't know that if I'm another owner, I'm giving him tens of millions of dollars to watch him try to recreate something that had its time. I don't want any part of it. I want somebody younger. I want somebody fresher. I want somebody more contemporary. I want somebody who is a better fit for today's game. Because it's not just that the personnel is a problem. I don't know. Like, this team, I never thought I'd say this. I've never said this in 20 years. The Patriots are poorly coached, are they not? They're poorly coached. They're not just poorly constructed, they're poorly coached. Why would I want some of that? Yeah. Why would I look and say, you know what, give me that. I want what you got. I want the same problems that you're just getting rid of. I want that. No, thank you.
All right, well, I can understand. I can understand part of that, but let me just go back to the beginning of your analogy. Look, you've seen many people in this situation. Look, especially if you wanted to holler at her, and like a friend of yours beat you to it. You're like, okay, well, he messed up because something wrong with him. Of course it didn't work because he
didn't know how to treat you.
So
he didn't know how to treat you.
He didn't know what that's right. He don't know what he's doing. He don't know what he's doing. Right. So, okay, now it's my turn. Hey, what you doing? What's up?
What you say? Ain't no fun if the homies can't have none? Now it's my turn. Like, damn, man. I mean, we tight and everything. We cool. We cool and everything. But damn, bro,
Hey, man, I meant to tell you. Like, I saw y'all at the movie. I meant to tell you, man, but it never got around to it. But
it just happened.
Yeah, just whatever. So look,
one thing
in any relationship, depending on your profile, because some people you talk crazy about them, and you say you're not interested anyway. You don't think they should be together. You've had no interest. You're not intrigued. Okay, fine. Yeah, I'm sure he's crazy. She's crazy. But if it's a profile of somebody like Bill Belichick, because all those people you named, you say, give me the next Dan Campbell, give me the next DeMeco Ryans, give me the next Nick Sirianni, give me the next Mike Tomlin and Sean McVay. I think those are the names you mentioned. Out of all of them,
as an example,
two Super Bowls. It's 2 Super Bowls.
Mm-hmm. All right.
But Bill Belichick was 6, had been to 9. Let's say
maybe if they had Tom Brady, they'd have had more.
Okay, but look, hey, you lead a franchise. Think about an owner. You're leading a franchise that's never been or hasn't been in 30, 40 years. And, and your franchise needs
the credibility. You'll win the press conference from a credibility standpoint, yeah.
But you may win more than a press conference because some of the stuff that's happened in New England is a smart person here. Bill Belichick. He can step back. The next opportunity, He doesn't get to leave New England the way he thought he would. Because he's a New England guy all the way. I don't think people understand how much Bill Belichick is a New England guy, not just with the pro franchise, just the region of the country.
Lifestyle.
Dude,
Yeah.
I mean, but high school, after he left Annapolis High School, he did it on his own. He was like, you know what, there's a school called Phillips Andover in Andover, Massachusetts. I want to go for my post-grad year, 1 year. So that's how he wound up at one of the best schools in the country. Look it up if you don't know about it, in another part of the country. Then he goes to Wesleyan in Connecticut, your neck of the woods, for undergrad. And then a stroke of genius, there's this little island off the coast of Massachusetts. It's in Massachusetts, these islands. Nobody's really talking that much about them. A place called Nantucket. This is in the 70s before the price went crazy. And he was building houses in Nantucket. He's got several houses in Nantucket before it was hot. So he loves New England. And he always thought he would leave on his own terms. And so now the humiliation of being forced out quietly, elegantly, whatever, I think that can kind of get you to that place where you say, oh, I'm going to show him what I got.
Kind of galvanize him a little bit, re-energize him a little bit.
I'm going to show him that I'm not done. And I think he does. Look, he's not asking me.
I'm sure that would be the appeal.
But if you're asking me,
that would be the appeal.
I'd be like, man, you got to get back. You got to get back to vintage Bill. Vintage Bill Belichick was. Yeah, I mean, I think if you have that, let's say you got like 2 years of Bill Belichick in your franchise, 3 years, same way Tampa did. It's really Tom Brady playing out again. Tampa, he was there for 3 years, right?
Yeah, but I guess.
And I'm going to check your receipts, though. I'm going to check your receipts. I'm not saying you said it, but I'm going to check. A lot of people look like you said Tom Brady after 2019, they didn't think he had it. They didn't think he was going to be MVP and win a Super Bowl the next year. He had a very small market. Two teams are interested. I'll tell you. 2 teams are interested. 2.
I don't remember what I said. I don't remember what I said back then. But okay, I hear you, and that would be the appeal. So, if you're an owner, and you're like that's what you would be sold on. That's why you would go ahead and take the plunge, Bill Belichick. That's why you would do it for all the reasons you just laid out. But them 6 Lombardis ain't coming with you though. And if I'm an owner, see, I would like to consider myself in the multiverse where I do own an NFL team as a forward-thinking owner. I'm not looking for you to recreate what you did. I'm looking at what you've done lately, and I'm looking at what you can do. And so for me, if I'm interviewing Bill Belichick, if I'm considering Bill Belichick, he just like any other retread, coming off a 2-8 and counting season. Coming off of consecutive 9 playoffs.
That's convenient. You know what? Oh, wait a minute. See, now I'm going to fight with the owner. I'm going to fight with the owner. I'm going to be like, hold on. Now you want to be forward-thinking.
No.
You want to be forward-thinking.
I'm not going to hire you based off what you did back in the day with the greatest quarterback of all time. You got to prove to me. Show me your plan. I know you're pissed off at your ex, but show me your plan for how you're going to move this franchise forward. Because your recent record leaves a lot to be desired. Your record recently.
And that's why I'm going to leave the interview. That's why y'all ain't won nothing. That's why you ain't won nothing. That's why you suck. You got a lot of money, but that's why you ain't won nothing. Because you're talking about the past doesn't matter, but I got socks older than Nick Sirianni and Sean McVay. When you want to talk about hiring them, you go back and you look at what they did as coordinators and position coaches. You going back 5 years, 10 years. With me, you just want to talk about the last 2 years. Okay, I got you.
That's why you're unemployed now. That's why you're unemployed now. That's why you're in my office looking for a job now because you can't change. You won't evolve. You want to do things the way you've always done them. You want to surround yourself with yes men. You want to surround yourself with people who think like you instead of people who challenge you. And that's why we're here now. That's why we're here now. Congratulations.
You ain't got no
Congratulations.
Congratulations. You don't know what it's like.
You're not even a first ballot Hall of Famer. They're not even taking a ballot with you. You got your own wing of the Hall of Fame. I respect everything you've done. But this is about what have you done lately and what will you do moving forward. And I got questions. After what I've seen, I got questions. And clearly so does Robert Kraft. Clearly, if Bill Belichick was such a slam dunk hire for somebody else, then why is Robert Kraft breaking up with him? Speaking of breakups, Can I sneak in one more thing with you before we go to break?
Yeah, I just want to ask you real quick. What were you doing in 2018? You remember way back in 2018 they had color TV, air conditioning. They had Spotify, all the YouTube. Instagram was in 2018. That's when I won my last championship. Hey, thank you for watching Brother from Another. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do that now. Don't forget you can catch us 3 to 4 weekdays on PeacockTV.com and on Sirius XM Channel 85.